Do you know who Yukinobu Tatsu's favorite characters are from the series? He ranks Momo as his absolute #1 favorite character. Okarun holds the second spot in his heart. Aira is third place, which is fair, but his #4 favorite character is definitely gonna shock you. It's Kinta. Yeah, that's right. He wasn't exactly stealing anyone's hearts in the beginning. A lot of Dandadan manga readers used to absolutely hate the guy. Everyone who's close to Momo simply calls her by her first name and doesn't even use any honorifics. They just call her Momo. Guys, first names are a big deal in Japanese culture. In the manga, her signature choker never leaves her neck. She wears it 24/7, even when she's sleeping. Though in the anime, there are times when she's shown without her choker. These are just adaptation errors. Momo also can't keep part-time jobs. Miko once revealed that Momo always quits after fighting with bosses about unfair treatment. Honestly, same. We don't know anything about her parents or what happened to them. The stories only mention Momo's parents once in a brief phone call with Okarun where she simply states she has none. Momo always gets annoyed whenever Okarun's real name, Ken Takakura, comes up. This is because she's a huge fan of the actor Ken Takakura. And speaking of the name Ken, Okarun's Turbo Granny Power mode gives him white hair and a black mask, right? Well, this directly mirrors Tokyo Ghoul's Ken Kaneki. Plus, both characters share the same voice actor, Natsuki Hanae. In Dandadan's Season 1 outro, you'll see Turbo Granny blasting a hairdryer in her face in her cat form. This is because she misses speeding at 100 kilometers per hour with her powers with the wind in her face. So she's trying to imitate the feeling. Gigi's Evil Eye curse works just like Ranma 1/2's transformation system. But ever wonder why Gigi and Evil Eye can switch based on how hot and cold water is used on them? Well, in Japanese folklore, hot water is often used to exorcise and drive away evil spirits. Gigi is also not the brightest. He's known Seiko Ayase since childhood, yet never realized she was Momo's grandmother until he became a part of the main story. Speaking of Seiko, she tries to be cool, but the author always uses her to convey a certain philosophy. It's very simple. Living begins with eating. That's why Seiko always prepares or buys food for Momo and friends after they overcome a challenge. You see, Seiko views everyone who regularly visits their house as just part of their family. This recurring theme has a personal connection to the author Yukinobu Tatsu's own experiences with poverty. During his time as a manga assistant, he received 1,000 yen for snacks from his mentor. Of course, it's a small amount, but the snacks he had on that night just meant a lot to him. Momo always wears shirts that match either the food or the recent adventure. Also, notice this water spout in the hot spring that Momo's chilling in? It foreshadows how Momo will eventually use the Mongolian deathworm's body as a fire hose for the volcano eruption in the village. Seiko Ayase's sleep mask is exactly like Okita Sogo's mask from Gintama. The aliens in Dandadan draw inspiration from Ultraman. Serpo aliens are inspired by Ultraman's Dada aliens. Just look, in their signature pose is a nod to his Ultra Beam. In Season 1's opening theme, all the shadow play and shapes are inspired by Ultraman's original OP. The reference includes Vamola. Her name and exosuit reference the kaiju called Vamola from Ultraman. As for her suit, it combines elements from Kaiju Gamora and Red King. Even their storyline is pretty similar. Ultraman had to fight Vamola early on, but eventually becomes Ultraman's ally, fighting side by side to save the world. Vamola might be modeled after Rie Ota, the stunt woman who played Baragon in the Godzilla franchise. Gigi also links Vamola's name to a Decavita C commercial that features the footballer King Kazu shouting Vamola. Her character also draws inspiration from Rei Ayanami, a female lead from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Both characters pilot mechs and wear similar pilot suits. The evil eye yokai who fuses with Gigi is a common supernatural belief across a lot of different cultures. From the Mediterranean to Latin America, people believe this malevolent glare brings misfortune. Some cultures see it as a protective force that reflects harm back to those who wish ill upon innocence. In the extra content of Volume 6, it was mentioned that Evil Eye is based on 2 yokai, the Yamanoke and the Kunekune. The Yamanoke is a monstrous mountain ghost spirit, while the Kunekune appears as a slender white humanoid shaped like paper or fabric. The extra content of Volume 1, on the other hand, gave us some UFO lore. You see, back in the 1960s and 70s, the US military worked with Roswell incident survivors to send 12 people to planet Serpo. 2 people died on the alien planet, while 2 stayed but their fates are unknown. The other 8 made it back to Earth but later died from extreme UV radiation exposure during their stay. Though, considering how the Serpo aliens came back to Earth for reproductive organs, it's probably safe to assume that the 2 humans who stayed also didn't last very long. By the way, Thai fans noticed Serpo's disguised face looks like their former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra. They started sharing it on social media and it ended up becoming a viral meme. Back to Evil Eye, his desire to play with children is similar to the entity from Aphex Twin's Come to Daddy music video. There's a horror manga called Fuan no Tane. In this manga is a creature called Ochanan. This Ochanan acts similar to the Evil Eye. He's a creepy but protective friend to children. Adults get disturbed by children's drawings of his vertical eyes and mouth though, but I'm sure if adults could see the evil eye, they'd be really disturbed too. Next, we got Kinta's mecha, Dandadan. It draws a lot of inspiration from the Gundam series, which is kinda obvious, but when you consider its pointed glasses and drill usage, it's obvious it also takes inspiration from Gurren Lagann. Acrobatic Silky is the only known yokai to reach nirvana in the story. Her story also mirrors the Mexican folklore of La Llorona. Both are mother spirits searching for their children. When Silky swallows Momo and cries about her missing child, it further connects to La Llorona, whose name means the crying woman. Unji is a brilliant character who most anime-only fans probably aren't ready for. And let me tell you that his full name has a clever wordplay. When romanized, Zuma Unji sounds like Jumanji, which is cool because Momo ends up on a Jumanji-like survival adventure together with him. Unji's Umbrella Boy form in full power has a head similar to Marvel Comics' Null-created symbiotes. The Umbrella Boy yokai comes from the classic Japanese spirit Karakasa Kozo. These are old umbrellas that turn into spirits known for having one eye and one leg. The name Karakasa Kozo directly translates to Umbrella Boy. Dandadan's version of Umbrella Boy, on the other hand, has one leg. This is because Futa lost one of his boots when he drowned. That's why, as a yokai, he ended up with just one Geta sandal to stand on. Futa's name carries the kanji for wind, while his older brother's name contains the kanji for cloud. This is beautiful because, symbolically, the wind lifting clouds represents freedom, transformation, and the unseen forces that shape our lives. Honestly, everything about these two brothers just hits you like a truck. Mr. Mantis Shrimp's real name is Peeny Weenie. He always performs a song called Chiquitita by a Swedish pop group named ABBA. He does it during the confrontation with Okarun and Aira, but the anime changed the lyrics for copyright reasons. His Dover Demon Strong Style 24 form looks like Ultraman's Alien Balton. Also, Mr. Mantis Shrimp wore sunglasses in Chapter 23, but they were removed in the volume release. His borrowed spaceship originally looked like Star Wars Millennium Falcon in the manga. The anime changed this design due to copyright. The Serpo energy drink scene references Regain 24 commercials with their song Yuki no Shirushi by Saburo Tokito. Surprisingly, Reiko Kashima is the strongest yokai in Dandadan. The author went all out when it came to drawing inspiration for her persona, which combines several powerful yokai legends. There's Kuchisake Onna, the scarred woman who tests victims, Teke Teke, the vengeful legless spirit, Hachishaku-sama, the tall woman who stalks victims, and even the Bloody Mary. In Dandadan's universe, Earth was once called Idea after Sumerians made it their second home planet. The name Sumer comes from one of Earth's earliest civilizations. Along with Egypt, Indus Valley, Urlagan culture, Kural Supe, and Mesoamerica, Sumer was a cradle of civilization. The Kur take their name from Sumerian mythology, where it means ground and refers to the underworld. Their physical form outside their suits resembles both Lovecraft's Cthulhu and the Martians from War of the Worlds. The Hastur Kur especially matches Wells's Martian descriptions. Vamola's character premise is also based on real ancient Sumerians, like the language she spoke, shown in the manga when she and Momo first fought, is cuneiform, a written language used by Sumerians to record their history into tablets. Okarun made an interesting discovery about alien invasion plans. During his confrontation with the Serpo, he realized why aliens hadn't invaded Earth despite their advanced technology. It's because of the yokai. They serve as Earth's natural defense because their powers surpass alien science. When Okarun first meets Momo and shows her the pages in his occult magazine, the anime updated the president to be Trump for it to match the times, whereas in the manga, it was still President Obama. Anyone else catch this Devilman Crybaby reference when Okarun runs? Well, it's there because Dandadan's animation studio, Science Saru, is the same studio that animated Devilman Crybaby. Ludris, the legendary space vagabond, has a cube-shaped body and nanoskin. He's definitely inspired by Minecraft Steve and the game's building blocks. Aira's friends weren't named in the manga, but in the credits of episode 5, they were finally named. Guys, if you see them, call them by their names. It's Tsubame and Anzu. There's the mandrill alien who pulled up to Earth to hunt for test subjects. This happened in a special one-shot called Profoundly Mysterious Kick-the-Can Battle Storyline. The storyline of the Ombudsman yokai possessing Mai comes from the Japanese folklore's Obarion spirit. These creatures jump on people's backs and begin to become increasingly heavy. If someone manages to carry them to their destination, they reward their victim with wealth. Mai Kawabanga's entire character has plenty of turtle references. Her family name, her ombudsman form, and her guardian spirit all connect to turtles. Her surname, Kawabanga, is definitely a homage to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' famous Kawabanga catchphrase. Kolki Yukishiro's name has layers of fairy tale meaning. While Yukishiro translates to Snow White, it's actually the Japanese name for the character from Snow White and Rose Red. and not the one from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This is interesting because even though the name is taken from a different story, her childhood look included a bow headband that matches Disney's Snow White design. Plus, she's accompanied by pygmies, which references the Seven Dwarfs. Though, ironically, she plays a role more like the huntsman, who's forced to attack the heroine with a knife. Her character has some modern horror connections too. When she peeks through the library door looking for Momo, the scene resembles Kaisuke Aiso's infamous mother bird statue known from the Momo challenge. And I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but she has a mole on her left opot. This is important for the plot. The pygmies in Dandadan draw from Greek mythology's dwarf tribes. There's a scene in chapter 171 where they set Aira's hair on fire. That scene is a direct reference to the story Imagines. This story is about the pygmies attacking Heracles. The pygmy king leads an attack on Heracles' head. They use fire for his hair, tools to attack his eyes, and try to block his nose to stop him from breathing. The Hayashi family aren't technically spirit mediums despite their supernatural connections. Seiko said that this is because they lack spirit sensitivity. When we first saw the Hayashi performers, most of you guys thought they were a direct reference to Kiss, right? But no, they're actually based on the real Japanese rock band X Japan. All the exosuits in Dandadan take design inspirations from ancient alien figurines and depictions found throughout fiction. Now, while the Turbo Granny began as the 100km/h granny that terrorized Japan, she now goes around comforting the spirits of dead young girls until she eventually merged with an earthbound spirit in the tunnel. It's also her empathy for young girls that triggered her to spiral through telephone lines in order to protect Momo from getting assaulted by the Serpo aliens. Earthbound spirits never get a lot of focus in the story, but they're really intriguing. They remain tied to specific locations due to strong attachments, and they're impossible to exorcise within their territory. The Earthbound spirit, called the Earthbound Spirit Crab, whom Turbo Granny merged with, was actually born after several girls were murdered within the tunnel. The Earthbound Spirit Crab draws inspiration from the Heikigani Japanese crabs with face-like shell patterns. These crabs are believed to contain reincarnated spirits of Dan-no Ura battle warriors. Yokai are categorized, and the ones called mountain yokai are the most dangerous. This is because these powerful evil spirits are worshipped as gods. Evil Eye is one example. The Minotaur in Dandadan likely references the Chinese ox head guard of hell. The Tsuchinoko is similar to many monstrous cryptids like the Brazilian Minhocao or the Mongolian deathworm from the Gobi Desert. The fairy tale cards have symbolic meanings. 3 cards, particularly ear, mouth, and eye, reference the 3 wise monkeys. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. The 4th card, showing upward rolling eyes, likely represents the lesser-known 4th monkey, do no evil, as it controls minds for destructive purposes. When Count Saint-Germain uses them, 2 additional cards appear, making 6 total. The Flatwoods monster comes from the 1950s West Virginia UFO lore. This monster has become a popular alien representation in Japanese culture because it's unique and cool as hell. Nessie in Dandadan draws heavily from Shin Godzilla's 4th evolution form. Its water compression attacks mirror Shin Godzilla's atomic breath. It also references Ultra series kaiju like Zars from Fight Mighty Jack and Gyras from Ultraman, both dubbed Loch Ness Monster. And fun fact, recent DNA research suggests the real Loch Ness Monster might simply be a giant eel. The Hastur was an exosuit used by the Kur's advanced unit leader until Okarun destroyed it. The name Hastur comes from H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos. There's a godlike entity called Hastur in those mythos. Now, Momo only dated her ex because he resembled her idol Takakura Ken, but the thing is, that guy only resembles Takakura Ken in terms of appearance, while our boy Okarun actually resembles him in terms of personality. Momo's homeroom teacher is a goofy guy who wears an outfit resembling the SSSP uniform from Ultraman. He also believes that Seiko is Momo's mother, not her grandmother. Did you guys notice the symbol on Count Saint-Germain's collar? A triangle with an eye on it. It's the same symbol that appears on Ludris, Kashimoto, and Payase. Kashimoto and Payase are cursed object collectors. Both are based on the Japanese urban legend broadcast duo Yasuhiro Hayase and Makoto Kishimoto. These eye symbols likely reference the Freemasons' Eye of Providence that represent divine watchfulness. This same symbol is also used on the backside of the US dollar bill. Count Saint-Germain is a hard-to-understand character who serves as the overarching antagonist of Dandadan. He's also a collector of paranormal items, and his ultimate goal is to collect whatever's called Dandadan. His character draws from the historical Count of Saint-Germain, an 18th century French court alchemist and adventurer known for his mysterious nature. He also shares his name with Gigi's favorite soccer team, Saint-Germain. His Saint-Germain identity creates strange memory effects, making people feel familiar with the name while being unable to recall the person. He's also the first paranormal collector to be introduced in the story. It wasn't until the Pygmy arc that Payase and Kashimoto also enter the picture. Also, there's this scene in the manga where Count Saint-Germain appears in Japan through this gateway. Well, this gate appears in real life, an art piece by Augusto Rodin that currently resides in the National Museum of Western Art in Tokyo. That sculpture is called the Gates of Hell. That's gotta mean something. Now, the term dandadan obviously holds quite a lot of meaning in the series. In a way, it's to dandadan what One Piece is to One Piece. It was first introduced in chapter 163 when Count Saint-Germain asked the fairy tale card about it, and the only thing we know is that it's connected to the paranormal. Chapter 163 also shows us a depiction of dandadan. This depiction is represented through Buddhist mandalas that depict the center 8-petal hall from the womb realm. As for the word dandadan itself, dan means story, and this dan is taken from several relevant terms like kaidan, which means ghost story, kidan, which means strange story, and taikandan, which means experience. So while we don't know what dandadan is, the author's obviously been cooking with this term since the very beginning. Volume 11's extra pages give Chikitita some characterization. He goes to school and during his class introduction, he awkwardly mentions being good at punching. When classmates ask why he doesn't want to show him, he mentions that's because his father told him that violence is wrong. They make fun of him because they think he's lying, but later when he sees his classmates getting bullied by older students, he shows them that man-to-shrimp punch. In Volume 2's author notes, he mentioned that he's never seen spirits or UFOs and that he's scared of spirits, but wouldn't mind seeing a UFO as long as it didn't involve abductions or men in black. You should go and rewatch the anime's first ending theme, Taidada. It adapts the extra pages content from volumes 2 through 8 of the manga. Check out my other videos on dandadan, like the 10 saddest dandadan aliens and ghost backstories explained.